Hey there, welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. We are so excited and honored that you joined us today as we take a look at this question. Why fill out the FAFSA even if you don't think you'll receive aid? It's a wonderful question. We get asked it all the time, so we thought we'd just dive right into this. But first, I want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you're always up to date on when we post new content, and we do all the time at all your favorite podcast places. You can follow us on social media. Just check out The College Investor. Search pretty much anywhere and you'll find us. You can also check out thecollegeinvestor.com if you want to dive deeper on this topic or any topic we've discussed throughout the many, many years we've done this podcast. All right, let's dive in. Why fill out the FAFSA? You might be tempted to just skip it, filling out the free application for federal student aid or FAFSA because you think maybe your parents make too much or you're not going to qualify, so you just don't want to waste your time. But skipping the FAFSA can actually leave free money, access to student loans, and other opportunities right on the table. Even if you don't think you need it now, you might wish you had it later on. The FAFSA application is open now through June 30th, 2025. So here's why you should fill out the FAFSA, even if you don't think you're going to get anything. Your state might actually require it, even if you don't think you get nothing from filling out the FAFSA. You might still need to complete it in order to graduate high school. States like Louisiana, Illinois, and Texas do actually require all high school graduates to fill out the FAFSA before they can receive their diploma. Pretty interesting. It may be required to receive state-based aid, too. This is separate, though, from federal student aid and is awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. You might qualify for aid from your state, but if you don't complete the FAFSA, you're not going to get anything. It's like, I don't think I'm going to get anything, so I'm not going to fill it out. You're just kind of ensuring you're not going to get anything. States have strict deadlines and then can run out of funds quickly. The sooner you apply, the better. Merit scholarships also might require it. Even though merit-based scholarships aren't based on need, they still might actually require you to fill out the FAFSA. Schools and scholarship programs use data pulled from FAFSA to consider students for merit scholarships. The Dell Scholars Program is a scholarship offered by the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation to help students achieve their goals. Submitting your FAFSA submission summary is part of the application process. If you don't fill out the FAFSA, you could limit scholarship opportunities you might otherwise be a contender for. Just do it. Your school may use FAFSA for internal aid as well. Schools also have scholarships and grants, of course, that they award to students regardless of need. Students who receive internal funding are considered based on a number of criteria, including whether or not they've completed a FAFSA. If you skip it, you might miss out on additional aid from your college or university. So just a quick example, the Department of Asian Studies at the University of Texas at Austin offers funding to its students. In order to be considered, students must have a FAFSA on file with the university. The FAFSA is the only way to get federal student loans. Aside from being used to award grants and scholarships, the FAFSA is also used to issue student loans and determine other types of federal aid programs you might be eligible for, like work study. And by the way, you cannot access federal student loans without first completing the FAFSA. So these loans come with lower rates than private loans, and they also give you access to hardship and forgiveness programs that you won't find with other lenders. Federal student aid also comes with non-loan-based opportunities like work study. So this gives you access to employment opportunities on campus, like staffing at an administrative office or working in a dining hall. But if you don't have a FAFSA on file, you might not even be eligible for certain work opportunities. While you might not think this is really a big deal, it can actually be a good way to build your resume. When I was in college, I studied communications with like a broadcasting tract. I worked at the campus radio station, work-study job, which led to me getting an internship at a radio station and actually getting offered a job before I even graduated in the career that I wanted to be in, which like rarely happens. So there you go. And I filled out the FAFSA, which allowed it to happen. Okay, so not all aid is based on income is the other point we're going to make. Income is a core part of the FAFSA. We know this. But it's not the only thing that the FAFSA takes into account. Aside from financial information, the FAFSA also includes this: family size, number of college students in a household, and extenuating circumstances like a sudden job loss or even a divorce. You might think your parents make too much to qualify for aid, but if you have a sibling who's also in school or your family is dealing with a hardship, you might actually be eligible for aid. Don't just assume. The other point we'll make is you might need this aid later. Things can happen, and which could change your financial situation. Even if you weren't eligible for aid in the past, a family emergency or a change in the economy could make you eligible this year. If you don't have a FAFSA on file, you're just not going to be able to access emergency aid or student loans should you need it. Filling it out even if you don't think you need to can give you some peace of mind in case your situation changes and you need some aid later on. The application process is changing too. The FAFSA Simplification Act was passed in 2020, making the process of applying for and receiving aid easier. The law changes several criteria for eligibility, which will go into effect during the 2024-2025 school year. We're finally there. If you weren't eligible in the past, these changes might actually make you eligible now and in the future. One of the changes is replacing the expected family contribution, which was so stinking confusing anyway, with the Student Aid Index. This is like a new scoring system that will simplify how Pell Grants are awarded, which could increase access for a whole bunch of students. You just never know. And this is our last point we're going to make today before we wrap things up. Even if you don't think you'll qualify, you really never know. The FAFSA doesn't cost anything, but a little bit of time to fill it out. If you wind up qualifying for a grant or a scholarship, that's just free money. You don't have to pay back either. With the cost of college continuing just to go up, it's not going down anytime soon. Filling out the FAFSA can help you save thousands of dollars on your total tuition bill later on down the road. You are going to thank yourself later. Just take the time to fill it out. That's the bottom line. All right, and that is our show for today. If you want to find out more, and we talk about this quite a bit, the FAFSA, the new stuff that's going to be going on with the Simplification Act, you can find it in the archives of the podcast. Also, check out thecollegeinvestor.com to dive in deeper on this topic. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.